All right, broski. This just popped up on the radar, and I thought I'll do another review of Jason Blaha's video that just popped up 26 minutes ago. Weight weight loss hack: protein overfeeding for people with extreme appetites. Oh, okay.
Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and today I'm going to chat with you guys a little bit about something I generally find to be useful for people such as myself who struggle with overeating. Those of us who have bottomless pit appetites, like a lot of times people are surprised that when I've told them, look, even when I lean bulk, I eat really, really clean. I'll eat really, really low-fat diet sometimes too, right? And all whole foods. So something like my last lean bulk here, I put on about 8 pounds over the course of a year. Eating fruit, like eating watermelon. For some weeks, watermelon was 60% of my calories with almost no fat.
Watermelon, 60% of your calories. That's insane, man. Watermelon, too much of something could be very toxic. Too much of anything could be toxic. Shit, man, even 4 liters of water could go to your brain and be toxic. So yeah, could you imagine? That will exhaust your stem cells. See, that's what I discovered. The more I delved into it, the more I realized the more of these things that you're doing to your body, like overwhelming your body, they become toxic, and so they diminish your stem cells. That stem cell pool now is a lot smaller. That will shorten your lifespan and shorten your telomeres. Yeah.
My diet, things like that. And I bulk on that, and a lot of people are like, okay, that's ridiculous, that's crazy. And then we're talking over 4,000 calories. I'm one of those people who struggle with weight loss, and I've also been over 300 pounds before. I'm in a different boat than, say, a lot of the hard gainers, and I feel like there's a very, very large demographic of people who...
He's in the boat with hard gainers? Did he just say he was over 300 pounds, or he's struggling with being overweight? No wonder why he has all that flab on his stomach, but he's hiding it with his pants. His pants are kind of going up above his belly button to hide that loose skin, because he was talking about that before. I don't know eventually what time he could get over with this constant lifting, right? And starvation, lifting, starvation, whatever. It may eat up the cells in the skin and shrink it over time, yes.
Fall into that same category with me. So right now, these videos are early on in my current cut for the year as I'm getting leaner. By the time this video comes out, I should be quite a bit leaner again than this. But,
Now, you're talking, it's new, but those videos you're showing right now, these are kind of recycled, some of them. This lifting stuff looks recycled.
One of the tips that I find when I'm really, really serious about losing some body fat,
But we know you're lifting every day. I would doubt it. Or maybe Jason Blaha is recycling this stuff because he's not lifting anymore, because he's been listening to my videos that it's an inflammatory response. He doesn't want to accelerate aging. And so he pretends, he puts this up and he talks voiceover, and you actually think he's lifting in these videos when they're just reruns. Oh.
One of the best strategies, and I'll say it's the closest thing I have to, a biohack, if we want to use that term, right? It's a trendy term, let's use it. It's increasing protein overfeeding.
And biohack, guys, you all know he's watching my videos, man. I mentioned this before. He's using fancy words like, hey, that's a great biohack. I could use the same words and say, look, this is a great biohack. Protein synthesis exceeds this breakdown. I don't use it as overfeeding. They talk about it, and there is a section there of overfeeding and NCBI. They talk about a rebound effect. They do that with chickens. Everybody thinks that they're just using clenbuterol in chickens to grow these chickens really big. They use tricks. They use all kinds of stuff in nature to get plants to grow faster. They increase the temperature, lower the temperature to get a chicken to blow up. They just simply starve that chicken for 1 or 2 weeks or a week, an entire week or a week and a half or 10 days. They don't give it anything to eat, and then they just give it a whole bunch of food. The chicken overfeeds on this food, and then they blow up like what's his name? They call that's where the overfeeding comes in. The overfeeding, when they're talking about it, they're talking about starving for a while and then overfeeding. For example, if you have a dog, he's starved, and these animals, they're in the street, they're starved. They start overfeeding them and then they blow up. But in some cases, if people have been starved for such a long time, or animals or something, and you overfeed them too fast, they can die. It's actually dangerous, this so-called overfeeding. Me, I don't promote overfeeding. What I promote is protein synthesis must exceed that breakdown. So it's an increase over time. You're trying to stay in an anabolic growth state, nitrogen balance is even, so you're constantly building muscle, so you don't have to worry about any of these things. But this whole overfeeding thing, yeah, it's just another word. He took it out of context, I guess. But chickens will blow up and they'll get big and massive by overfeeding them. But it means it's a rebound effect. They call it like, what's his name? Larry Wheels. He rebounded. How did he gain 53 pounds of weight in 5 days? Think about that. 230 to 284 or something or whatever. That is just insane. You understand me? But in a human, it's totally different. It's going to be fluidic. But in a chicken, they're going to build muscle. Why is it different in animals and why is it different in humans? I can't tell you for sure. You understand me? They're just able to convert a lot of the stuff that they eat into muscle, but humans are not. That's it.
I say increasing protein, I don't mean, let's eat 200 grams because that's what I bulk on. That's not increasing it. That'd be reducing it. No, I mean really hammering protein. What do we mean? Minimum 3 grams per kilogram of body weight, and then up from there.
See what he's copying me. What is it? 3 grams per body weight. Why do you do 3 grams? Because you have to take into account for the breakdown. This is the minimum. The breakdown, then sustaining life, and then the buildup. You understand me? That's why it isn't 1 gram per body weight. You want to eat at least a minimum 3 grams per body weight, yeah, to build muscle. So you're kind of in an anabolic growth state. Like I said, everybody knows on my channel, he's watching me, watching my videos because I targeted them towards him.
Right? So why? What's the deal? Well, it has to do with a lot of things. It has to do with appetite suppression, has to do with thermic effect, nutrient partitioning, and here's what I mean. In terms of overall... What if he misses? Could lose. Calorie output.
But
when we start talking calories and calories...
Here's the one problem that all of you have. Even if you do this protein overfeeding or protein synthesis exceeds this breakdown, you won't build any more muscle because muscle reaches a myonuclear domain size limit. It has a ceiling limit during hypertrophic process where the satellite cell can no longer donate any extra nuclei to that domain to support further muscle growth. You understand me? So it wouldn't matter how much overfeeding you're doing. That's why Jason Blaha's not growing. You need to watch my entire video to understand what I'm saying. I'm not going to tell this in the beginning of the video. You have to watch it to find out for me to explain it to you. NCBI has a section, PubMed, you can look it up. Myonuclear domain size limit. What is it? MND size reaches a ceiling limit. What is that? Well, it reached the ceiling limit at 15. But when you do something you're unaccustomed to doing, like the very first time you come into a gym, you get an influx of this domain. You bypass this domain that one time. And seemingly nobody's bypassing that domain. Occasionally they are, once in a blue moon. But they're not doing it. They're not doing it. And even if you were to get, let's say you were to get the progenitor to donate some extra nuclei. Here's the thing. Even if you were, if you don't eat enough, it becomes apoptotic. There's an apoptosis. And so you may lose them. And you may lose additional fiber because you were not able to, how should I say this? You were not eating enough protein to exceed that breakdown now because you have what they call a micro injury in there. There's some dead fiber in there, and if it's dead, you can kill the fiber too because it's not if that's not able to repair that fiber. If there's not enough protein to repair that fiber, and even a remodeling, forget about the remodeling, just the repairing alone, that fiber will die and you will lose fibers doing that. That's why a lot of people, they associate DOMS with a bad thing. They go, well, they got this DOMS there. Yeah, that's an injury you got there, definitely. So you should be focused on now repairing and remodeling that injury, or you will lose those fibers. And that's when people do get it occasionally and they lose it. And then they say, well, I didn't get any bigger. I got these sorenesses, but it didn't notice anything. Didn't notice anything because you weren't eating enough to repair and model it. There wasn't enough resources in the circulating in there. See what I mean? Yeah, and like I said, it's really hard to bypass myonuclear domain size limit because it reaches a ceiling limit during hypertrophic process, and you need to keep forcing it to keep bypassing that nuclear domain. Yeah, it's complex. He's not doing that. These lifting training modalities that he does, they're all garbage. They're not geared towards that.
The thermic effect alone from eating hundreds and hundreds of grams of protein, 300 plus grams, you burn.
Yeah, you could eat that 300 plus grams, whatever, all this protein. It's just going to be shitted out. It becomes useless at this point because without those nuclei, you can't they synthesize protein. So without them, it doesn't matter how many grams you take.
Do more calories. Your body utilizes a considerable amount of calories just to...
Why do you think people opt for lifting a heavy weight? Because they can't build muscle. They don't know what builds muscle. They don't know how to build muscle. And so they just opt for lifting a heavy weight. Oh, I'm just going to get stronger. You're just going to get stronger? You didn't gain any muscle. How the fuck did you not? How the hell did you get stronger? Oh, I got better at lifting, so I'm stronger. I'm stronger at lifting these objects around. Oh, you're stronger at lifting these objects around, but you're smaller. You got smaller even. Oh yeah. Oh, okay. That's how it works. Yeah, I didn't know that.
Get to the energy in that protein, so there's a very pronounced thermic effect. So all other.
Oh, I like that one. A pronounced thermo effect. Yes. There's a thermogenic effect. I don't know about there being a thermogenic effect eating protein, bro. I don't know about that. I know that there's zero carbs, sugar, and toxins in it. So yeah, it's a high nutrient diet. The more of these nutrients you take in, most likely, yeah, your body will burn the fat as an energy source because you're not taking in these artificial energy sources.
Factors being equal, your calories out will be higher even doing the same amount of activity when you do that. Right, that thermic effect is very real. There's also that muscle preservation effect. In other words, when you're losing weight, as protein gets really high, makes holding on to lean tissue easier. And in fact, it increases the possibility of recomposition more.
No, really? You think on carnivore diet there doesn't give possibility of recomposition? What are you talking about, man? Even that little Asian kid who, forget his name now, that Greg just did a video, or somebody out there. Oh no, it was Goatis. He did a video on him. That little kid, he was on carnivore diet. Now he's starting to eat some carbs and other stuff. I don't know. I just think he's going on the wrong path. He should have stuck with carnivore diet. He just shouldn't have lost so much fat, which was a bad thing, what he did. I don't know.
Because usually when you're losing fat, you're losing muscle to some extent, right? That's just the way it works.
What? If you're losing fat, you're losing muscle to some extent? No, you're not. No, you're not. If you're losing that fat, then that adds to the mass. You look bigger with some fat on your body, but if you drop it, you're going to look smaller, yeah.
So there's that part of it. Then there's that appetite suppression end. If you're filling up on protein, and particularly throwing in some whole foods, because obviously you're going to be eating some fruits and vegetables and things, you better be.
Fruits and vegetables.
If you are just forcing down protein all the time, for many of us, you can disregard calories a little bit, not because calories don't matter, but because it's easier to just be in a deficit and stay in a deficit. Now, usually
No, don't eat any fruits and vegetables. Don't listen to him, man.
The points we make with tracking calories is, yeah, but you don't want to lose too fast, right? If you want to control the rate of weight loss so that we're not losing muscle tissue as easily, because that's the problem with fast fat loss, is losing lean tissue, losing muscle tissue. All right, so here's where this kind of removes a lot of the stress, and what you're trying to do is you may end up in a larger deficit than you intended because you're forcing down protein all the time. Again, that thermic effect of it combined with the appetite suppression. As long as you're saying, oh, I'm getting just enough carbs to...
The appetite suppressant. You don't want to suppress your appetite. You simply just want to be in an anabolic growth state so you can keep growing muscle, at least the mass. But again, has a ceiling limit, bro. There's a secondary shift. When that domain ends and you can't get more of these nuclei and you keep eating, there is a secondary shift into sarcoplasmic hypertrophy. Sarcoplasmic hypertrophy is a type of artificial muscle growth. Your muscle will start drawing in this glycogen into the muscle. You understand me? I think it's for every 3 grams of glycogen, a gram of water or something is drawn between the skin and the muscle into the muscle. All right? And you're going to build artificial muscle growth. That's what's going to happen. And you misconstrued it as being muscle. And the pump and everything else and all these weird things. So yeah.
Fuel my training. I'm getting some healthy fats and stuff in. All right, I'm good there for nutrient absorption and all that. So if everything else you're just trying to force down is protein all the time, you tend to not get hungry. Trust me, start going over 300 grams of lean protein a day. Start exceeding 300 grams of protein, and then tell me what happens to your appetite.
What happens to your appetite? You don't feel hungry.
You are guaranteed to get approved for these credit cards no matter what your credit score is. There are absolutely no credit
grams of protein, and then tell me what happens to your appetite.
You don't feel very hungry, man. That's what.
That's one of the perks. Plus, people, and this is funny. This is the one that cracks me up. People will talk about they struggle to lose weight or lose body fat, but at the same time, are you ready? Oh, if I tried to eat that much chicken or protein shakes every day, I would just get tired of eating. It would be so boring.
That's why you do it in such a short run. Success is in a short run. That's why watching him lifting all the time, he's complaining he's got low views because it's boring. Do you understand me? People become familiar with this, so it becomes boring. Just like bodybuilding or lifting, anything. I built my body in a very short time when that was my goal at the time, many decades, eons ago. And when I built it, that's what I wanted at that time. And I built it and it lasted. It lasted for a long time, believe me, providing that I would eat. Now, when I wasn't eating, I couldn't maintain it. That was the problem. At some point, I just kind of Well, that's the whole purpose of it. You understand me? It's a short window. You build it really fast. Otherwise, if you keep doing this, you'll just become bored of it and you won't put effort into it. You'll just be constantly coming into a gym, lifting nonsensically and just eating all my favorite foods and everything. You understand me? So doing something on such a scale, yeah, it's a short run for success. Once you build it, you have it, and then that's it. Maybe you'll move on to something else. I don't know. I did.
All right. Now, I want to step back and listen to those two things again. You have one person, okay, they'll tell you, oh man, I'm hungry all the time and I struggle with fat loss because of my appetite and my hunger. I want to eat.
No, they have they're stimulating they're hungry all the time because they're deficient, they're malnourished, and it's stimulating their appetite, the ghrelin and stuff, because they're not eating anything. They're eating fake food, artificial food. They're not eating real food, they're eating artificial food. And if they're eating artificial food or man-made engineered food, these fruits and vegetables and fake processed foods, what do you expect? Their appetite's always up and they're starving because they're malnourished. That's why they're irritated, depressed, this, that, walking around, hormonally imbalanced. They have all kinds of issues and problems. Then they think the gym will solve this problem, and it doesn't. It makes it worse.
Okay. Oh no, if I did that, I'd get bored of eating. Eating would...
No, you didn't get bored because you're eating for taste. They make it tasty so you don't get bored. That's why they keep coming out with more fake food. And then they revamp their menus like McDonald's and all this. They keep revamping it to cater to you.
Be less appetizing. Listed with option 2, is the solution to problem one. You get bored of eating.
You could get bored of eating at some point, definitely, because it may not be as tasty.
You don't think
So that's how the industry works you. They make the food very tasty and they make varieties of them, but they're fake, they're artificial.
that that's part of the
They'll
problem?
never build you a muscle. They'll never make you big and strong. If anything, they'll weaken you, destroy you, and diminish you slowly, and you'll deteriorate over time. And so will your health deteriorate eating these artificial foods.
Problem with a lot of us, all right? People who overeat real easy, people like me, we have a couple things in common.
See, Blaha's looking like a model already. Look at this guy. He's a model, bro. He's a model citizen and a supermodel now.
Number one, high appetite. See where I'm going? This fixes a lot of problems.
He has absolutely zero legs for a power lifter and a squatter. He has zero legs and calves.
All right, then.
Keeping up that pump every day, the inflammatory response. Okay. Hey, those man boobs there, they really show out now.
We might, and you're still resistance training. Your calorie deficit gets a little too large. As long as problems solves a lot of problems.
See, if he talks and shows you this, he'll get views. The views will start growing.
It makes life so much easier. It really does, guys. Trust me on this. All right, guys, but that's really all I have.
It does make life easier. Not paying attention to this baloney. I'll see you in the next one. Ciao, man. Tell what you think about that. Like, subscribe, support the channel. Helps grow the algorithm. See you in the next one. Ciao, man.